What's up, everybody? It is your boy TGK back with another reaction video. Salute to the Discord, man. They sent me this video today, and I said, you know, why not? Let's go and react to it as an emergency reaction, right? This video is by Mike Korzemba. He's one of my favorite NBA YouTube creators. I think he always makes really interesting videos, and just the way he does it, it's always really good. Like good storytelling, quote unquote, yada yada yada. You already know. You might know Mike Korzemba if you're watching this. Anyway, today he has a video about Luka Doncic. We're going to go ahead and get into this, react to this, and see what he says, man. See what he says. Will I disagree? Will I not? I don't know. It's gonna be tough. Anyway, man, enough of the fluff. Let's get to the stuff. Consider subscribing. Leave a like on the video. Consider becoming a member. I host a Mavs pre- and post-game show and also Midnight Madness. Again, appreciate y'all being here. Let's go ahead and get this started. All right, without further ado, no wasting no time. Let's go.
In Game 3 of the 2024 NBA Finals.
Oh, by the way, the title of this video is called Why Luka Doncic's NBA Future Has Never Looked Worse. That's quite a bit of a title right there. That is quite a bit. Let's go and start it.
Luka Doncic again showed us why fans refuse to fully believe in him. As down 3 with just over 4 minutes left in a must-win, Luka attempted to take a charge at the three-point line, was called for a blocking foul, and proceeded to lose his mind.
And that's it, he's fouled out. Luka Doncic has fouled out with 4:12 remaining.
The comments of this video are brutal. Bro, really?
I don't want to revisit that game. I don't want to be reminded of this game. But yeah, let's go ahead, man. Damn.
Really tried to take a charge at the three-point line in the finals. Legit looked like he was having a mental breakdown on the court. It was at this moment that the Dallas Mavericks lost the 2024 NBA Finals. And this was not an exaggeration. Down 2-0, the Mavericks needed to win this game, and they had a chance as they had just gone on a 20-2 run in the fourth quarter, but Luka's foul ruined their momentum. The Mavs lost this game. They lost the finals in 5 games as the Celtics became NBA champions, and the consensus was Luka Doncic was not ready.
His defensive performance is unacceptable. He is a hole on the court. They have begged him. They have talked with him. They have pleaded with him. He is costing his team because of how he treats the officials.
Now, after a huge lesson on the game's biggest stage, you would think Luka would have learned and come back better, except a video was recently made on Luka's defense titled "One of the Worst Defensive Performances You'll See." This game was recent and included 2 indefensible plays against the Utah Jazz, where in the fourth quarter, on one play, Luka just stands in place as Collins.
Oh, man. Yeah. I wonder why Mike didn't give the person that made that video credit. You know? I guess he did, but it would have looked better if you gave him full credit, right? Like, just give him credit, bro. You're a big page. You give another channel some, a shout out. It looks good. It looks good, bro. But yeah. This play right here, I hated from Luka. He just quit midway through it, and that's where it led me to believe the man was injured. But let's continue.
Sexton walks into a wide open mid-range jumper, and then after a game-tying Klay Thompson 3, Luka again stood in place guarding a ghost as Utah just simply threw the ball to John Collins for a game-winning dunk. It's really simple. He is lazy. This is an immediate disqualification of MVP.
Trust me, I already know they're going to utilize that clip to do so, so it is what it is. I already knew they would have found they're already looking for any reason to not give Luka MVP. They hate him because of these mental lapses defensively. Again, like I said in one of my videos recently, that because Luka is always in contention, they're going to highlight his mess ups bigger than anybody else's, right? Like, say Colin Sexton can have horrible defense, but they will not give a damn about that. They only give a damn about it if you're one of the best players in the league, and you will be criticized for it. It's just the nature of the game. It is what it is.
Performances like these make me want to track if the offensive performance actually balances it out, which we're going to do, because Luka Doncic has gone from the NBA's wonder boy, a man who is one of just 3 players in history to make the first team All-NBA 5 times in his first 6 years, someone who just led his team to the NBA Finals, and the only player along with Oscar Robertson to average at least 28 points, 8 assists, and 8 rebounds per game in his first 6 seasons, to now the NBA's most controversial star. Some still see Luka as the future of the NBA. Others...
Whoa. The most controversial star? I don't know. I mean, it might be. That might be how they look at Luka. Like outside of Dallas, outside of Slovenia, this might be true. It might be how they look at Luka. Huh. Most controversial star. Wow. I thought that would have been John Morant, you know? Oh, man. One more for good measure. All right, let's get back to it.
Others believe his complaining and lack of defense will result in a career similar to James Harden.
See what I mean about Mike Korzemba's videos? Like, they're great, bro. It's great editing too, on top of the way he narrates it. It's always good videos by Mike Korzemba.
Hall of Fame offensive superstar who could never get the job done and win a title. No matter what side you're on, one thing has continued to remain consistent, and that is, unfortunately, Luka's weight gain during the offseason. So what's up, Mike here? And in 2021, we had the headline, "Out of shape, Mavs superstar Luka Doncic admits to issues with weight and conditioning." 2022, Luka Doncic was reportedly playing cards, drinking coke, and smoking cigarettes before Slovenia's loss to Germany.
I've never heard of that before. I don't even know how legit that is, but I never heard of that before. Huh. Luka got to get it together if this is legit. If that's legit, Luka got to stop, bro. Stop, Luka.
2023, he needs to lose weight. NBA fans rip apart Luka Doncic for stress eating as a video of skinny Luka re-emerged. And finally, August of 2024, simply Dallas Mavericks Luka Doncic appears to be severely out of shape.
Little shove to get that rebound.
I will say, because, and I say this especially because Luka's sitting over in the West.
At this point, there's no denying it. We have a cycle here, and Luka is paying the price. His numbers across the board for the 2025 season are down. He's averaging 5.8 less points, 1.6 less rebounds, and 2.2 less assists per game compared to last season, and his true shooting percentage has plummeted, going from 61.7% in 2024 to now just 55%.
I try to tell people that his efficiency was bad. Comparing, to his actual numbers last year, and in general to his, general numbers, averages. And I got killed for it, saying, Luka Doncic playing out of position. And I haven't been big on saying it's a weight issue. It's an out of shape issue. I legit think it's a knee issue. It's an injury issue. So I hope Mike doesn't fall for the bait. And again, it might be a weight issue. It might be. But maybe I just got used to seeing Luka at the size that he's at and still dominate. So I don't know. But I figure it's still a knee issue. The man's knees were bleeding to start the year. Come on now. I'm leaning more knee. And if the knee is compounded by the weight, then they all correlate, right? And yeah. So let's continue.
A staggering drop, which means we have to ask the question, are we overreacting here? Will Luka figure this out and go on to become a multiple-time MVP and multiple-time champion? Or is this what we're going to get from him? Is this what we should expect from him? Is Luka Doncic not taking basketball seriously enough to get the most out of his overwhelming natural talent? What's up, guys? With basketball season starting to heat up, it is play 2 to 6 players and choose code Korzemba.
Yeah, we don't do gambling ads here.
There is definitely proof for both sides of the argument here. I have consistently been one of Luka's biggest supporters, but that doesn't mean he's above criticism. It's actually because of Luka's unprecedented levels of production at a young age that makes us have to have this conversation. Luka has been the obvious best player of his generation when it comes to awards and stats. The 4 best young players in the NBA today with established resumes, not super young guys like Wemby, are Jason Tatum, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Anthony Edwards, and Luka. Among these 4, Luka has more first-team All-NBAs with better career points per game, assists per game, and rebounds per game. Luka also has more win shares per 48 minutes, the highest box score plus minus, and the highest VORP.
But people try to tell us that all these other players are better than Luka. You just can't. You can't. And they try to argue it. They try and try and try. They try to put Shea over Luka. They try to put Tatum over Luka and Anthony Edwards. And you can't. You just can't. Like, stop. Stop it. You can't. Oh, wait up. I got the soundbite. Stop it. Get some help.
Stop it. Get some help.
Let's go.
Jason Tatum has the championship, the most important award, but an award that is heavily team dependent, especially during the early parts of a player's career where he has no choice at all where he is drafted. Looking at the leading scorers for both teams in last year's 2024 NBA Finals. After Luka and Kyrie Irving, the Mavericks were relying on PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford, and Derrick Jones Jr., while after Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, the Celtics had Team USA selections in Drew Holiday and Derek White, with all-star Kristaps Porzingis as their fifth best scorer. Quite a mismatch. But in these finals, even though the Mavericks did get demolished 4-1, even though I would say Luka did cost his team game 3, it was Luka on the stat sheet who was the clear star even with all of these flaws, averaging 29.2 points, 8.8 rebounds.
Oh, buffers. Huh. Interesting.
0.6 assists per game against a Boston Celtics team that in the regular season finished 3rd in defensive rating. These are the kind of numbers, this is the kind of performance that usually indicates that a young superstar is almost there, that he's about to take the next step, the leap to greatness. And there is evidence that that happens, but again, the evidence here goes both ways. Historically, we have seen certain players take that leap after a performance like this. In the 2007 NBA Finals, we had LeBron's first chance to secure a title under the game's brightest lights only. He shot terribly and averaged just 22 points per game as the Cavs were swept by
It's kind of hard to compare those two eras, but yeah. Let's go.
By the Spurs. LeBron was just 22 years old in the 2007 season. He wasn't ready yet. We understand that. What's interesting though is that in LeBron's next crack at the NBA Finals with Hall of Famers Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh on his roster, a now 26-year-old Bron still heavily struggled. He averaged just 17.8 points per game, less than Jason Terry on the Dallas Mavericks. It wasn't until LeBron's 3rd trip to the finals where his greatness was fully unlocked. Anyone can say what they want about Luka. We could heap on as much criticism as we want, but at the end of the day, the stats don't lie, and the fact is he averaged almost 30 points a game in his first NBA Finals trip, meaning he should be on the verge of true greatness. In fact, looking at the playoff numbers of LeBron James, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, and Kobe Bryant from the ages of 20 to 24 compared to
Look at that. Dang. Luka's up to it with them, bro. Whoa, he's averaging more points, more rebounds, and damn near also more assists than all of them. That's crazy. Hey, man. We've been trying to tell people Luka Doncic is him, but, you know, people don't want to listen.
Luka. We see again, historically, Luka stands out. But continuing on here, when matched up in a battle of young stars versus Anthony Edwards in the 2024 Western Conference Finals, not to mention going against Big Purr, Luka not only led the Mavs to a 4-1 series win, he was a true superstar in the process. He averaged 32.4 points, 9.6 rebounds, 8.2 assists, and 2.2 steals in those 5 games. He actually outperformed Ant in all of those categories, as Anthony Edwards, before that series, was being hyped up as the next Michael Jordan, the next face of the NBA.
Facts. He sure as hell was. I remember this clear as day, and I was like, all right, watch when they run into Luka. And again, Luka was injured here. Luka was hurt. It wasn't like Luka was 100%. No, Luka was probably at 65% here, and he still did what he did. I was always big on saying, like, if Luka was healthy, like during the playoffs last year, and that's why I've been so big about keeping Luka healthy this year and allowing his team to win games for him, because whenever in the playoffs, if he's ready to go 100%, last year would have been different. We would have beat LA in 5 games versus 6. We would have beat the Thunder in 5 games versus 6. We would have beat the Timberwolves in 4 versus 5, and we probably could have pushed the Celtics to 7. You know, so Luka Doncic being healthy is just so big for this team. And yeah, man, I'm just saying, like, he's him, bro. He's him without a shadow of a doubt. The fact that we went to the finals with a hobbled Luka said a lot about Luka. Let's continue.
If everything goes right for Luka, he should be that face. But it's here where we are going to switch things and look at the opposite side of the evidence, where things can go wrong. And in 2018, James Harden almost broke through and solidified himself as a top 3 shooting guard of all time. He was seriously that close. In that 2018 season, Harden was named MVP after averaging 30.4 points, 8.8 assists, and 5.4 rebounds per game, while the team he led, the Houston Rockets, brought the Golden State Warriors with Kevin Durant to 7 games in the Western Conference Finals. The Warriors would go on to win the championship. The Rockets had more regular season wins that year, and they even led Golden State 3-2 before losing both games 6 and 7. If James Harden took that series win, if he cemented a championship in that year, taking down Steph and Kevin Durant in the process, how would we look at him historically? The answer is a lot different. Instead, since that Game 7 loss, he has had a circus act of a career. There's been claims he wore a fat suit to get traded from Houston. He abandoned the big 3 of Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. He called out Daryl Morey in public with this weird clip.
Daryl Morey is a liar, and I will never be a part of an organization that he's a part of either.
James Harden's full potential as a player was never reached, and he has not reached the conference finals since. But looking at this, from the ages of 23 to 30, James Harden averaged 29.6 points per game, 7.7 assists, and 6 rebounds.
I already know where he's going. He's about to make this James Harden comparison. I know my co-host Sticks has made the same thing, and I know many others have made this comparison, and I've been heavily against it. Luka Doncic scores in multiple ways. Luka Doncic plays completely different. James Harden is heavily relied on that 3, that little side step 3 that he does, and Harden bends the rules with all the travels that he gets away with. But, Harden doesn't post up like that. Harden has a completely different game from Luka. Luka's step back is completely different from Harden's side step. And I just don't think they're comparable, to be completely honest. But I already know what I already know what Mike's about to do right here. Here we go.
These were on high-level, high-win Rockets teams, as he also made 6 first-team All-NBAs in the process, 2 more than Steph Curry has in his entire career. At the end of the day, though, no one cares about overwhelmingly elite stats unless you win championships. That is what defines a player's legacy. And in order to win championships, you need to play both sides of the ball. On offense, James Harden played at the highest of levels. But here's the thing. His on-the-court, off-the-court stats show us just how much James Harden was hurting his team on the defensive end. As if we compare those same ages and look at just Steph Curry versus James Harden's on-the-court, off-the-court stats, we see Steph had several seasons with net ratings above 15 with a high of 22.6 in 2016, while James Harden never broke a net score of 10. Luka Doncic is unfortunately in this exact same camp. Looking at Luka's career as a whole, Luka's highest net rating has yet to break 10. Last year he did have 9.4, but this season it's down to 4.3. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander last year had a net rating of 11.4. This season he's up to 13.
Yeah, okay. So let's look at this. Let's look at it, right? Look at last year, 5.3, 9.4. Shai's wasn't that much different because Shai had a good team, bro. Shai had a good team. Shai had a good team, bro. Like Shai's team was healthy all year. All right, but again, let's gloss over the fact that they lost to the Mavericks in the playoffs. It doesn't matter how big your plus minus is if you lost. Hold on, I'm not even on screen. It doesn't matter how big your plus minus is. You lost to Luka in the playoffs and the man was hurt. Let's continue.
13.8. And the final boss, Nikola Jokic, has had a net rating of over 20 from 2023 to now 2025. That is what a true superstar does. Impact his team positively on both ends of the floor. And now
Yet, Luka has beat multiple 50-win teams. Luka has gone to the finals against a number 1 seed. Jokic has yet to beat a 50-win team in the NBA playoffs. And when he went to the finals, he faced the 8 seed. Let's add context to everything.
The 2025 season, Luka's numbers have taken a dip. His weight gain to begin the season again was disappointing and undeniable. I'll say as someone who wants to see Luka succeed and dominate that I wish he treated his body like LeBron does or like Kobe did. It's almost as if Luka's early success has been proof to himself that he doesn't have to go lift or go through some big cardio workouts throughout the offseason in order to succeed. That just isn't the case. Look at Nikola Jokic. Look at his weight loss. Then look at the success Jokic has had since treating his body like a professional. That is what makes a tremendous difference. We do need to—
Hold on, bro. Hold on. Jokic. Come on, dog. Jokic is not like this superior ripped athlete. They both have like the same body types, bro. It's that Slovenia, Serbia archetype, you know? Like, let's not act like Jokic is— come on now.
To end this video with one hard fact, and that is the Mavericks were counted out last season. After a loss to the Bucks on February 3rd, they were just 26-23 and were fighting to stay out of the play-in game. At that point in time, it was not crazy to think that Luka was going to demand a trade. Instead, the Mavs became the league's hottest team and reached the NBA Finals in a season where nobody expected them to, and that is because of Luka Doncic's greatness. He is still just 25 years old. The NBA world is at his fingertips. He still has the potential to make a massive leap. What he does next is up to him. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I think you're really going to like this video in the top left on Nikola Jokic, or on the top right about how the NBA is just taking way too many threes. Please subscribe and turn on post notifications if you're new. If you're already subscribed.
All right, that was a good video. That was dope. That was a good video by Mike Korzemba. Basically just outlining a couple of items about Luka Doncic. If y'all have ever watched my videos, I ad nauseum speak about these things, especially the analytical perspectives. I'll put the one video that I'm talking about at the end here in a bit. But yeah, man, Mike Korzemba, what do y'all think of that video? What do y'all think? I think it's like fair mostly. I think some things needed a little more context, especially with that big of a platform that he has. You have to have a little more context, right? You just can't always reference Jokic, you know? And I get those plus minuses matter. They do. But sometimes that stat is flawed in a way. Like, Jokic is good for a reason. Like, he's a damn MVP. About to be a 4-time MVP. They are going to find a way to give Jokic another MVP. He's just a sympathetic vote at this point. But he also is backing it up. You can't deny that. I will never deny that. But yeah, I felt it was pretty fair for the most part. Just wish there was a little more context. And I do agree. I hope Luka does figure it out. It'd be nice to see Luka come in ripped and in shape one of these seasons. But I just don't think you're going to see that. I think he really relies on his lower half, right? The legs, all the tree trunks that he calls them. I think he really relies on his legs being as stout as he is to be able to keep people on his hip. But over time, that does wear on you. So I do hope Luka figures this out. Obviously, as a Mavs fan, it matters a lot to me for Luka to win with this team, to be successful. And I think what we saw from him against the New Orleans Pelicans prior to his wrist injury, it was the perfect way of how he should play with this new squad. We don't need Luka to go after these 30-point triple-doubles anymore. You have a really good squad around you. Utilize them, and when you get to the finals, when you need to become Superman and get us past the finish line, you know? But anyway, man, been your boy TGK. Appreciate y'all being here. Subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. We out.